Redoing this. Mm, the fundamental problem I think we had initially, struggling the first time, is that we thought this was more about tank battle than it ended up being. And we waited a long time for the enemy to come to us, so none of that shit anymore. I think we waited to allow around 10 turns somewhere here, which allowed us the huge amount of infantry they have to get into so good of a position that I had to sort of... They delayed me long enough. We'll try something different this time. Basically, we're gonna take more risks in the tank fight to push ourselves forward faster. That said, we still can't afford casualties, major casualties. I think I could have possibly gone forward with the game I was already having. I mean, I had made a backup save at turn 8. I think I initially waited until turn 10 to make any kind of push forward. So that could have given me a couple of turns. But the thing is, I still could not have killed the infantry. So I bought a little bit of a different army. I downgraded the Persians I bought to Shermans, and bought a different set of planes, bought some mortars, and I think 3 engineering squads, but that's about it. The units we have are more or less sufficient to do the job. I'm not too worried about getting different set of units. It's about how we're gonna use the time we have. Mortars, because we can't really necessarily kill the infantry we encounter with the mortars. However, because they move in such a huge mass of units, we could effectively cause a lot of suppression by simply firing mortars in the general area. Also, mortars are dirt cheap. They're like 16 points for 4. So this set of mortars didn't cost me all that much. 32 points, I think. Engineers use their rifles because engineers are fantastic at close quarter combat. They have the satchel charge and flamethrower. They're good against infantry and vehicles. Doesn't matter. And last time the fight sort of degenerated into some kind of a general smoked area where we could only see to the next hex. So, we want more kills. We want all the flags. And from experience, we know that the aircraft are pretty much worthless after if we can't target the tanks, so we might as well sort of set up them here, maybe alter their route a little bit. The infantry is arriving from here. We could start shooting mortar in that general area. I mean, there's gonna be a carpet of infantry. Even minor casualties or suppression would be very useful for me. Corsairs have bombs, so they would be great if we could actually direct them at a proper target, but I think the road is a fairly safe bet. These guys are going to proceed more or less at a straight line here. I think I disabled one of them near the buildings here, so take a couple of turns for them to reach it. I still think most of the enemy will arrive through the road. Not sure if I want to wait a turn. think in about 2 turns they'll start taking these. Right. If we encounter the enemy tanks, it's going to be very, very risky for us. However, I think we at least need to get to the center before we can start engaging the enemy infantry. Do not have the luxury of just sitting around here. Also, we have to be a little bit careful how we push forward here. We might not be able to turn back. Also, every section needs to push forward, not just the center. If someone gets through, they need to go to the final flag and kill the mortars there. Killing the mortars alone will be somewhat useful because they do cost some points. And the kills might contribute to our overall route. But the flags are the important part. This time when we deal with the infantry, I want to base it as a unified armored force. Doesn't mean we need to rush in blindly at full speed, but definitely need to keep progressing every turn instead of just sitting around and waiting for them to come to us. The important fight will happen somewhere around the center this time. I think the Shermans are good enough to kill the T-34s. Pershings would be slightly more survivable with a bigger gun, but at the distances these fights happen, I don't think it matters too much. Right, if they start to go somewhere here, I want all the aircraft to more or less hit here too. I don't expect a huge amount of effect from the aircraft, but I sort of hope that we can start hitting them at the tanks at the same time, so hopefully it'll be enough. They have a lot of mortars. A lot of mortars. Also, we're going to shift these a little bit. I mean, we literally can see that the front unit of theirs is there, so there's no point really targeting anything here. Right. And there's at least a couple of tanks that can be in real peril because of those. I think generally speaking we're gonna just this a little bit and just keep on firing. Unless we have a better target to go after. Again, carpet of enemy troops, so if we hit in the somewhat over the near distance, that'll be good enough. Infantry can move a little bit faster here though, faster than I'm moving the artillery. We don't have to keep shooting this here constantly, and there could be a lot of infantry, so just because a few got through doesn't mean we're not hitting the enemy still. Okay. Can see one tank moved out. That's a lot of tanks. We have a group leader here. Because we can now direct the aircraft accurately to targets. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, no. Nothing there, so why the hell am I bombarding there? Who is here? Right, that'll probably do. I mean, there's a good chance we might even cause some casualties on them. I don't want to rush at them now that they're there, especially not with a light tank. That's a leader tank to boot. So go hide. Germans. Yeah, not really good. I can get a couple of tanks maybe into fire positions, but not all of them. But I think it's still a better idea to try to get there. We could fire smoke there. I don't. The reason I don't want to fire smoke is simply because it's our enemy after this initial stage. Are you? Yeah, probably should dump the infantry. Wrong button. We can have this unit to act as someone who's dumped smoke here, or one of the infantry squads. Save the tanks. But we can't stand there while the enemy basically is in perfect position to shoot at us. And heavy tanks don't have the mobility to get close enough. Someone has to stay here too, because the enemy is coming from the sides. So I don't think just going full forward with everything is gonna be to our advantage. There was nothing to the south really that came at us. No, that was our backup. Can you cancel that? No. Do you have smoke? Yeah. So you're our backup now. Actually, no. There are better units to act as our backup. D2 is our backup. It still leaves some units vulnerable, but not that many, and the aircraft could reasonably do a lot of, well, if not damage, at least suppression, and even tanks are not bad. However, that doesn't mean I want to have a half a dozen tanks sitting around when T-34s are within 15 hexes. They'll start hitting at that point. Some of the units have to move at the side, just so we can start spotting the enemy. Shit. Coil squad. It really doesn't matter where we shoot as long as we shoot. Although I think the suppression effect of this type of sporadic fire doesn't hit anything is pretty meaningless. Still, they are reacting to our fire, which means they have fewer shots on their turn. We have the luxury of saving, so if things turn to pure shit, I can always just load. We do need to keep in mind that we need something fairly substantial as far as skills are concerned, without getting almost any casualties. Otherwise, we're not moving forward from this mission. So it's not just a minor thing. We have to really milk this shit. I'm not using the save unit. Yeah, I'm not using it. At least not initially. It's more of a backup if we start failing this constantly. Oh shit. What more tanks than I remember? A couple of immobilized tanks. That's enough smoke, I'd say, though. No hits with the rockets. Never do. No effect. Artillery, mortar is hitting just at the sweet spot. Okay, this is a weird turn. Mobilized, abandoned, and ready and moving. We saw quite a few tanks moving here. We're not in a horrible position, I'd say. I mean, the crew is gone from those. That's we can still kill at least a couple of tanks here. Can use these as suppression. Some another infantry. Ready and moving. There's definitely infantry here already too. Just alternate new waves of infantry gushing in. Not sure what to shoot with the aircraft. Still, it's all about the tanks. I don't see shit. All the wrong guys see the wrong things. We have a greyhound that sees something, but I don't think anyone else really sees all that much. We could force the fight to happen here. Might not be a horrible idea, because they do have a lot of tanks. It'll just increase the chances of things going more or less our way. I think some of them came here, some of them came from there, and some of them came right up the road. Right, so we still would be engaging them much sooner and more or less in a similar fashion though. So the chances of success should be fairly high again. This does mean I don't see any particular reason why I shouldn't be sending the aircraft again there. We know there's an immobilized target there, so we might be able to lure it out the tank. If we don't go there with the priests, they might as well just fire on it then. It's risky business this. I was only thinking that we should be dropping the infantry sooner rather than later. It's gonna be a lot of fire in this hex in general. So but who cares? Gonna be shit for us no matter what we do. Gonna have to wait for now. Yeah, more tanks incoming. We're gonna have to face at least, well, two of them are out of the fight for now. One of them could be driven out, but there's still a healthy platoon coming to the road. We could do suppression fire, but I don't see why in the hell would we. Could use some smoke here if anyone has it. I don't dare really to move all that aggressively with these. They might be able to avoid detection, but now the terrain favor that. These guys need to be saved. The priests are more or less firing at satisfactory targets. Stumble upon enemy infantry at any second here. And it's gonna be a stumble, I'm afraid. So we're not gonna spot them before we're right on top of them. However, we have sufficient numbers, I think we can handle it. We know that there's gonna be a huge amount of infantry coming through here, but I'm not sure where exactly should we position ourselves. We don't want to deal with a huge amount of infantry at a time, but at the same time I don't want to sit here with a thumb up on my ass doing nothing when the fighting happens somewhere else. I suppose this might be good. Basically provide closer range cover for the vehicles, so they can't be snuck upon. These guys will defend the flags here, just in case some infantry gets through. Could dump engineers here too. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea. Their crew is attacking. Okay, one of you losers better hit the tanks, otherwise we're boned. Fuck. Notice that the guys next to the tanks didn't fire first. They're rushing at the wall of tanks we have here. Okay, he at least could win. Fuck's sake. How bad is it? One priest immobilized. Other priest immobilized. Pershing immobilized. 3 tanks immobilized. It's not catastrophic. Most importantly, we didn't lose a goddamn thing. We killed a couple of tanks. Buttoned, immobilized, abandoned, ready, right. So, not bad for us. That's not good for us either. Not sure, okay, well, Marine Corps unit. That's the crew out. We should have a lot of infantry here. And it's boat infantry, so all the better. They have to do something with the infantry we're sending in there, because otherwise they're going to be destroyed. I'm hoping to see how they react. Can I move in tanks here to destroy them? We probably should kill the crew at least. Yeah, this was to be expected. They didn't really achieve much. Really disappointed in them. As in the enemy. Yeah. A kill here could go a long way. It's still burning and buttoned up pretty badly. What the hell do you see? Didn't really want to assault, yeah. Because it always ends up in that. Mobilized. Okay. Not bad. Also not good. Yeah, they're not gonna let me come closer, are they? How about a K group tank? These are vastly cheaper, so we lose these. That's not that big of a deal. They've got to be shooting crew. Already tanks. We need to kill this one. That could be key to unlocking further attack points to the other tanks. Are they ready for action? Buttoned, ready. Mobilized, abandoned, ready. So they're still preparing fairly well. We really don't want them to shoot here though. This is pretty catastrophic for us if they do. We don't have a huge amount of mobility on the units here. I could sort of go there and sacrifice myself, but why on earth would I do that? At the same time, I don't have a huge amount of options. Because I want this to be their turn where they can basically get screwed over. Yep, I took a big chance there. Lost the main gun. 1 point of damage though. Was just buttoned up after all, but we can still attack that one. Alternately kill the crew. Might be a little bit too ambitious with what I want to do here. Or how fast I want to do it rather. I need him dead. That'll hopefully open new options for us again. I don't want to go next to another tank unless we have this is dead. Oh my fucking god. They're so hopelessly incompetent. If I go there, I'll die. I need a... Jesus fucking Christ. Point blank shots and nothing... That's god awful. Buttoned, mobilized, button. Yeah, it's a good shot. And you can't shoot at the enemy. Well, la-di-da. Retreating. Button. Excellent. Our aircraft are probably coming at a location we're not too pleased about. Yeah, still. How about no? Go after that. Yeah, these are coming at a massive delay. I should still be able to apply extra suppression on that one. And not sure where the hell am I gonna use that in other aircraft. Ah, right. The delay is not because of the aircraft, it's because I used the incorrect unit to do this. No? Okay, where exactly are we sending these then? I'm thinking the road here. It's pretty sure to say that there's infantry gonna be assaulting through here, so why not? This is pretty much the last position their infantry might be at. More likely they progressed past that point already. Okay, can I do anything useful here? Any kind of... Ooh, I might be able to shoot at the tanks, but I'll never hit. I think I'd better save the shot. Might be able to get some kind of a light tank to get in there. Hmm. Any kind of suppression fire that make all the difference here. This guy's just bot. A couple of aircraft will attack him though. Please. Okay, I'm saving in the foo bar here. We could basically stumble upon enemy Chinese infantry at this point, so that's why I'm a little bit cautious. Certainly to save, yeah, there we go. Now the fun begins. This could potentially destroy the enemy tank. Chances of success aren't exactly great. But, there's a chance. It's a hit. Didn't destroy it, but it's out of the fight. That's a very big deal. Right. I think we're better off firing at them. It's likely to miss, but uh, we are in a position where we cannot allow them to function properly. They're way too close for that. Goal is to reduce them to half strength or below, so 6 kills in each squad before we can really move on. 2 shots. I'm fairly certain that guy can't do anything. It's took a pretty impactful hit. Survivors disperse. Not exactly what I was going for, but I'll take it. But I'm thinking of not shooting. There could be a lot of infantry squads coming our way, so might be a preferable thing to have a shot or two to defend ourselves. Chaffee would have the mobility to reach the tanks there. I don't think you have the capability of destroying them. Yeah, he doesn't have specialty ammunition, and the caliber of this gun isn't impressive. Some kind of rear armor shot might do the job. Point is, I'm not too certain that we could achieve anything useful. So this is more or less going here to keep the incoming infantry at bay. I think we need to stay here to kill the incoming infantry. Clickety clickety click. No such luck. At least we suppress a little more. These guys got to the fight against the infantry a lot later though, so I don't. These guys probably are not gonna encounter enemy squads quite yet. And you're not gonna move anywhere. Right. I don't see any major problems here. Yeah, things could have gone better, but we achieved what we really aimed to achieve here. Much faster victory over the armored force, so I can position myself to start killing the infantry. And definitely need to start going for the flags. Yeah, that's probably not a good place to call aircraft on. What is happening here? There's an artillery call, but nothing seems to be actually coming there. It could be that we got a damage or a unit in basically in storage, meaning that it's not actually it's not on the list on this turn. It's on the list on the next turn at the start of the turn. Okay, let's see what happens. Aircraft first, hopefully suppressing this piece of shit permanently. Yeah. Ooh, we see a lot of infantry. No, it's just a graphic on the aircraft. Yeah, I can't really accept this. Yep. He was retreating, and he basically took down 2 tanks. Okay, what the hell? Yeah, where was I saving exactly? Retreating button. I have no idea what the hell I was doing. I should have saved at the end. They've taken, yeah, 2 tanks out which have taken damage. These cannot go ahead toe to toe with a T-34 at this distance. That's just not going to be going in our favor. So I'm going to need to get a little bit lucky there. Actually, I'm not gonna fire on the enemy this time around at all. As in the infantry. They seem to, yeah, didn't do damage this time, so that's gonna be a problem. I have a bad feeling that we'll be redoing this turn for a few times before it goes right. Hmm. Still, don't think it can be helped. And I keep firing on this in the hopes of getting it to properly be suppressed. I mean, I'm not exactly expecting it to be totally incapacitated. There's some room for it to still be a problem for me, but what was it, 4 shots? That's a lot of shots. I mean, that's a lot of shots for even if nothing had happened to it. So after going to that from retreated, that's nope, nope, nope. Right, there's gonna be an enemy assault on us, so we're just gonna sit here quietly and not do a goddamn thing. Just gonna react to their fire. We could try to maybe do something. Yeah, we could go right next to that and try to suppress further. I think it's worth a try. It's not gonna be destroyed, but pour some oil on that fire. Yeah, I can't get it to be routed. I don't really think anyone else has the mobility to get anything done. They should focus on the incoming infantry wave anyway. Now we have 2 problems though. Didn't damage this one this time, so it's not that suppressed. So I'm not too keen on keep trying this particular attempt. Chances of hitting pretty much non-existent. Till the crew, I suppose. Okay, this is whatever this is. Miss End. End of your turn, save to see how things go. I'm still holding hope we might be keeping this suppressing the what? Because the aircraft. It'll have an impact. The infantry is about 10 hexes away from us on data center, so it'll turn into an infantry fight at this point. Yeah, can't afford these, and that's just one of the tanks. That's 2 tanks lost. Can't afford that shit. I hate that I have to do this. Still doing it though. Well, it's better than starting from the beginning every goddamn time. We could also try the entire turn again to try to get a hit on that. It's a reasonable chance we have to get the hit. Probably could get it every other turn. Yeah, this is not good. Now both of them rallied. I mean, I expect at least one of them to be able to do it. Expect maybe to lose something cheapish. Not both of them. So yeah, this is pretty bad. Because this means I can't effectively do anything with the army anymore. A couple of casualties right at the heart. That's the 3rd or 4th vehicle that's basically getting screwed over. And they're just retaking everything. And firing at 0. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Big casualties on the bombardment too. Routed, immobilized, destroyed, blah blah blah. I'll give it one more chance and I'll redo the turn. No hits on the tanks. So they're not. It's really about their rallying capability. Ooh, fuck, they abandoned the tank. Fingers crossed about no heavy tank losses. I can afford to lose a scout vehicle or a light tank. Amazingly good. Didn't do a goddamn thing. And abandoned. Crew escaping, retreating. I don't see how they could possibly get a win out of this anymore. When the aircraft hit there, they fired at it with a range of 10 about. So they're more or less somewhere here coming our way. 10 turns left. Okay, where are we bombarding things? Yeah, I think the locations are more or less just fine. Let me spread them out a bit. The road is still gonna be the likeliest place where most of them are gonna come from. Also, it's where we can expect to get actual casualties in the enemy group, so another reason to fire on it. Right. What do you see, infantry? Let's do this. And we need to get a little bit of a tradition with this. Basically, take a look around for when to act. Because without a doubt, we should be seeing more stuff than we're actually seeing. It's not a good idea for you to be all separated like. Every vehicle needs to conserve a shot. We do not see all the enemies coming our way. So, one squad down. Not gonna move on this turn, please. There's too few of them to move around and fire at the same time. I want to dump infantry. Yeah. Infantry here just to have a better spotter. I'm going to keep on rushing on the next turn. The reason I'm not doing it on this turn is, yeah, the infantry there is not going to be alone infantry. There's going to be others, and I have no idea how many others, so I need to sort of get a little bit more of a grip on the situation first. Immobilized. Whatever you see, fire at it. This is not heavily damaged, but lost the gun anyway. We need to take out the T-34, no matter what happens. There has to be closer infantry than that. I really don't want to fire at. Well, it's not exactly far, but there should be infantry coming through the river section. Oh shit. Oh shit. Need machine gun support. Yeah, they're pretty thoroughly routed at this point. Still need to save shots. B3. Can't move anywhere. B4. We could dump some infantry here. As in, should dump some infantry here. This gives us a fairly good protection cover for the vehicles. We will not be satisfied with just driving them away. We need kills. They're not individually. They're not worth much, but there's so many of them that they're probably worth quite a bit in total. We have to be again. We have to be careful here. I think I'm getting into a huge pile of enemies. These guys will not be encountering enemies yet, so fire away. The more we can suppress them, the better. I don't think we have any reasonable chance of basically taking them on directly. Not at all. There's still too many of them. They'll just overwhelm our shots. So this is still gonna be sort of a waiting turn. We'll see where things go and develop. I think I should leave more infantry here, more units in general. There's like one tank now. These definitely have to all stay. Maybe the entire E platoon of infantry. I can't afford to lose these. We have a reasonable amount of shots left. Ah, yeah, unit actually died. I'm not going to kill this tank with this particular unit, but I want to, yeah, I want to act as a guard for the actual unit of Jaws, because he's not gonna be here alone. Right. Again, we need to save shots though. And you're defending us against units coming from the north, so don't move. You're going to save his ass. I think the infantry for the most part just stay put. If they have an okay firing position here, just maintain your okay firing position. The enemy will certainly is going to swarm us, and this is something we don't have to guess. We know what happened the last time. It's going to happen more or less the same way this time too. And what we see is basically a minor fraction of what's they're gonna throw my way. I should spread these guys around a little bit. That'll do. And someone to save your ass again. Right. Ah, crap. Mm. Well, you engineers might want to retreat a little bit. To recheck where the artillery is landing. Yeah, things look fairly good, I'd say. Although, did I really move the Persians already? I don't think so. Yes, I did. They just really have nothing to give anymore. Damage to the point of being pointless. Well, we can move this to protect the north. Okay. Reading looks more or less fine. Yeah. Now they show themselves. And all the infantry is dead. A lot of people dying. But I can't maintain the infantry in position. It's just too overwhelming of a force. Actually, I'm worried that they might dump 5 small ammunition in one of my own units. So they could become a huge burden for me. But I still think I needed to do this to get the enemy firing, so I have a better idea where they're coming from and what numbers at this point. Right, now is the critical turns where most of the infantry fighting probably happens. I I still think we are probably firing at a fairly decent location with everything. And I'm not sure of how much I want to even try to push forward here. Maybe the southern group could do it. They can't see the guys who killed the infantry that was here, so they're blind anyway. One shot must be left for charging enemies. They're converging on this point a little bit dangerously. So maybe you have a friend there. The center group really doesn't have to progress anymore. Their purpose was always to take care of the infantry. I think the southern group is in the best position to make some decent progress. Someone has to. I don't want to, no matter what, be in the same situation I was the last time. These guys don't really have to make progress either. They have to prevent the enemy from trying to go around us. Here, on the other hand, I'm trying to get to the road. It's by far the fastest way to get the things done. I don't care what we shoot at, as long as we try to go for kills. No such fun. Don't think they're gonna come after us here. I can't figure out a reason why they would. Select please, thank you. The infantry at least can get the casualties, the numbers we need to get shit done here. I'm not saving their shots because they're notoriously terrible at return fire. Yeah, I don't care what you shoot at, just shoot at something. Saving my shots. So it's important to get this group through, not exactly try to score a little infantry kills here and there. Survivors disperse, excellent. We could move a little bit with this group, but maybe on the next turn. It's a couple of squads neutered again. They at least won't be able to do any effective attacking. The thing is, I'm not sure if I should stay here. They might be able to come at me from the north without me being able to do all that much about it. Because we're more or less happy to just sit here and do nothing. Okay, K0, why are you not there? You're supposed to protect the flags after all. Well, Persians there, they're probably good enough to do the job. Hmm. However, why am I stuck here? Marines. Engineers, though, their range of attack is very, very limited. One of you losers shoot at him. Yes, they could. Which means they can shoot at me, which is not a good thing. If I bring in the engineers there, they're gonna be just usually vulnerable to enemy fire. What's their range? Yeah, 4. So we definitely don't want to stay here out in the open. I suppose I could go back and defend the flags. By the time they... no, that's not a good idea. That's not what engineers excel at. So, we're more or less firing at acceptable targets. I'm hoping to reveal infantry more than hitting them with the aircraft. Yeah, that's the thing. They're more or less top the center army, not because of their attacks, but because of the smoke. If I try to push forward, I'm going to go into areas where half a dozen infantry squads can make an assault attempt on me. I have to do it sooner or later, but there's no immediate hurry at this stage, so I'm inclined to stay a couple of turns here and fire. If we defend, we're basically killing them without any risk to ourselves. Infantry is the only ones who suffer. At the same time, they're suffering quite a bit. Crew destroyed. At the same time, they achieve jack shit. Why am I bombarding here? It's probably a good place to bombard. I'm sending aircraft here in more or less general. These guys are going to move past it. I'm not going to stay here and fight these guys. But the infantry will more or less mill around this general area. And I'm more or less happy with what we're bombarding with the mortars. Can't guarantee that we're hitting something with everything, but there's a huge amount of infantry milling about in this area, so there's a good chance we're hitting something. You're shooting at the wrong targets. Our targets are here. Us firing from this position is hugely helpful for the guys defending the flag. The question is what to do with these guys. This guy's put into a pretty bad position. He's coming so far behind the rest of the group that he could be taken out. We want to go... Well, the road is more important. From the road we can get the flags and the mortars fairly easily. So, I guess we can't proceed too quickly. I'll leave the 2 shots with this Greyhound because it's going to be going further than the rest of the group. It's more or less scouting the way. We could try to push forward here, because someone also has to go after the retreating units. Otherwise, most of the enemy will just escape. Not sure if that's going to be a problem or not. We lost this mission because we couldn't get a decisive enough of a victory. And I'm willing to bet the amount of units we get to kill also matters there. So we simply have to destroy an X percentage of the attacking force. That's basically it. Plus keep our own casualties minimum. We've been pretty much made sure that the casualties on our side are gonna stay low, but can we kill enough people to get the decisive victory? Every flag has to be taken, but is that enough? We're getting them to condition where they can't assault anymore, and they're pulling back. But that's all. It might be better if these soldiers don't attack now. New enemy infantry is gonna come in with their firing range on the next turn. A lot of it. If I move, I lose my shots. Still, we have enough units here that I'm not sure that matters. As long as someone can fire a couple of times, that's probably good enough. We have a good chance of here getting a couple of kills. Okay, any newcomers? Yep. The situation at the center should at least stabilize in the coming couple of turns. For this. Want to be able to shoot at the road. These guys do so much reaction fire each turn that they never regain a huge amount of their shots. These engineers might be most useful as spotters, but I think that's about it. They'll give some cover for the heavy tank that's there, so it's pretty much impossible to sneak upon it. Not sure I want to go further there. I'll probably just reveal myself to the soldiers and not be able to move away. So again, here we would be covering the vehicles. Guess everything's more or less landing as we want. Yep. Forgot to save. They're shooting my own units. A lot of shitty infantry coming in. There, it's wounded infantry, damaged infantry squads, however you want to look at it. Right, we're only causing a couple of kills, but half of their squads are lost. So they're definitely throwing in units that survivors disperse. Yeah, they can't keep doing this. At the same time, there are new squads there too, so... Ooh, engineers. 9 men killed. Enemy disperses. Fresh squad down to nothing. I'm running out of shots with the tanks. Thing to note here is that they are pushing forward. Nothing's changed on that front. Okay, let's take a quick look at where are we sending our aircraft. Yeah, don't shoot your own units. This fuck. I think I'm gonna bombard this. There's really no threat to our own units from that. Nothing's even remotely close. And they come from the side, so they can target at the units that are more or less in the same line. So that's not really a concern here. We don't need to defeat the incoming wave of units everywhere. We just need to get the pressure off in a single place, and we can start moving in troops from there to other places. Should I start pushing forward? Problem is the enemy infantry is in a very good spot here. It's hard to push it anywhere. Still nothing happening here. I'm a little bit skeptical on that, but you never know. These guys need to save all their shots. There's such a huge amount of infantry that might come our way. We can't really risk it. You, on the other hand, don't have to do a goddamn thing. We don't have to defend in close quarters either, so waste our shots somewhere else. I'm inclined to shoot the same target. Basically try to drop them at the halfway point or below. Then move on to new things. And these guys would be fairly important in trying to get the extra infantry groups here into suppressed state. So they are not gonna... Yeah, that's pretty much impossible though. There's just too many units. Too much smoke. Okay, we need to just move through here. Rifle squad. I would be more inclined to save my shot, but whatever. Not sure why the rifle squad is in here. I can't see anything. I can see all the mortars now. Probably. In a couple of turns we can be destroying them. Right, you guys. Probably should start doing something. northern infantry group is going to be put in a pretty bad position. Units coming, they're sandwiched between two vehicle groups. Can you fire there? Can I do indirect fire there? Probably not. Although I'm not sure why smoke protects prevents the shooting, but I guess it protects my ass too, so goes both ways. What do we see? See the units from the wrong side. So I'm guessing we should really move here. The pressure is the highest here, at least at the moment. I think these guys will focus on finishing up the retreating squads more than going after any new ones. I think the problem with the infantry in general is that the reaction fire is based on movement mostly. So when an enemy infantry unit gets into firing range, they're gonna stop moving and just keep firing at that point on. So you don't really get the reaction shots. What you get is a base full of lead, and once you get a few casualties, you wouldn't be able to fire anyway. That just doesn't work. Maybe if you sort of defend similarly to my vehicles at a location where you just can't let the enemy come through, then yeah, it might work. I don't think this will work. We need to go in there and just hunt them down and kill them. Otherwise, there's going to be an army of sort of teamed infantry groups spread all over the map. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not a good thing either. Oh, hello, enemy HQ unit. How you doing? Hmm. And we are not achieving a goddamn thing here. Got a single kill on that side of a group, size of a group. There are 12 guys. A single kill is not gonna mean a goddamn thing. Might want to... What do these guys see? Basically nothing. So this is where infantry would be very useful. Either we get a little bit of a breather here and recharge our shots, or we can probably start pushing forward. Uh, the first time when we were at this point, we were still fighting the tanks here. Now we've been killing enemy infantry for some time. So I have high hopes for getting through this time. If we don't, I have no clue what the hell am I supposed to try after this. Oh shit, this is bad. Can you move at all? Nope. Yeah, there's a lot of infantry seeing me. Well, there's already some smoke there, so I don't think I did anything too bad. I might actually survive. I can fire back once at close range. It's very devastating. HQ gone. Infantry squad gone. They don't really have fresh forces anymore. Almost everything is damaged a little bit. But it's like the second or third attack the same infantry squad is doing. Every turn, a couple less men retreats away. 2 to 3 men usually lost when an infantry group comes next to a vehicle. Then comes the retreat. We're gonna lose an infantry squad. No, they had the common sense to retreat. 8 men killed. Survivors disperse. So that's the benefit, I guess, of having our own infantry here. The vehicle shoots us something, 2 to 3 men get killed and they retreat. When an infantry squad fires at point blank range, 7 to 8 casualties, the squad pretty much disperses right then and there. Very good turn for us. Very, very good. And things are more or less landing where we want them to. So I'm not sure. I'm still thinking there's probably a full infantry squad somewhere here, so I don't want to go changing the location of these. Also don't want them to accidentally shoot at our own guys, so they can shoot where they want to. Just fire at it. Again, can't react to anything, need to conserve shots. What could we fire on? Yeah, we can fire on all the wrong targets anyway. They've taken casualties, but do they care? Not really. Pinned or ready to go. I think it's because there's just such a gigantic pile of the troops here. Basically, there's gonna be a lot of redundancy on the rallying. There's all the kinds of squad leaders, sergeants, and commanders to fall back on if things go immediately your way. Okay. HQ gone. We were bombarding this area, weren't we? So, pull back a little. But it looks like it's most of it is here already. So the big enemy grouping is here. We can more or less fight them off. We should be fine. And single guy dies, they retreat, and we have no more shots to use. That's nice. Guess we'll have to conserve shots. Too many potential squads can come at us. Fibers disperse. That's what I want to see. This guy doesn't have to react to a goddamn thing, so it can waste all its shots. At least we suppressed him a little bit. We also can't get any casualties. This guy's is fairly well suppressed, or at least was, so not a huge shocker. Probably shoot fire at something. But we don't really have to, and we have other targets to take care of. Also have a limited set of ammunition, so suppose we could encourage these guys to not immediately come back. Right. What those guys really have to do is kill the mortars. That's the important stuff. Dispersed. Yes. Beginning of the end for you. I don't particularly want to shoot at the mortars at these distances. You might get some results, but maybe not. And in a turn or two we can go right next to them and blast them to hell. So we can wait for that long. So quite a potential of assaults coming our way. Why are you not killing them? They're in the open road, for God's sake. Right, that's half the platoon, half the squad dead. More or less everything's still holding up. Our infantry is getting 3 shots per turn. So that's 3 squads that sold us that are gonna be entirely wiped out. And we have a decent amount of tank shots too. I don't see how they could break through. Their position gets worse and worse and worse. I'm also being now able to sort of suppress them before their assault start. So number of attacks they can realistically make is getting less and less and less. What the hell do you see? No matter. This is a defendable spot for the engineering squad. But you wouldn't hurt to have additional squads here. And more or less everything's going as planned. So yeah, things are looking very good here. And they're full infantry squads. Still not spotting all that much new. A lot of retreating units. One guy killed. 2 guys killed. 1 man killed. Second one. 3 men killed. Unit disperse. And engineers won't be firing at anything anymore. 3 men killed. 2 men killed. 2 men killed. 2 men killed. Third one. 1 man dead. Second one. 1 guy dead. 3 extra dead. Right. That's more or less it. Generally speaking, about 2 to 4 guys extra dead per squad, and then we retreat and repeat in the next turn. With a single guy dead, they don't really retreat. 5 guys dead. With 2, it's extremely likely that they're pulling back. Lost an infantry squad. Right. Was it turn 10? No, turn 11, but whatever. I'm saving there because I'm thinking we might want to start pushing forward, try to basically slaughter more. We still have to leave some defenders. But this would be a shift in what we're trying to do. Instead of just holding our position, we're trying to get something actually done. think this will be the last mortar barrage we're gonna shoot here. Right. What do you see? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Not a thing. I'm still keeping one tank at least here, so we have something to react with if things don't go exactly as we planned. These well, they're retreat and pinned for the most part, so I think there's some kind of a lasting effect on the armies attacking now. It's still very dangerous to try to directly assault them, but I think there's starting to be an opening there. Yeah, pin, 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 pin. And it's just these are the units we know that are there. They're the ones that have been attacking us and retreating. There could be more. Kill whatever you can get your hands on. We are going to again have to leave something here. Crew dispersed. More smoke. Still, target dispersed. Another squad dispersed. Right. So their numbers are dwindling. Slowly but surely. Seeing something? Nope. Not sure what would be the best way to handle this. We more or less want to make sure that they're not really retreating through this, but at the same time I can't really go there yet. In a turn or two maybe. Infantry certainly isn't gonna move an inch yet. We can leave a unit or two to the flags here. Maybe kill any kind of stragglers. Someone should actually go to the field here. It's where a lot of units are gonna retreat. They can also take care of capturing the flags. What we need to take care of is kill the goddamn mortars. They're about worth 4 points each, so that's also a proper thing. I think we should take them all now, or at least as fast as possible. We don't know where exactly the game is gonna cut off again, so to get as many kills as we can. Probably gonna keep going at least a few turns. I mean, it would be kind of sort of amusing the game to basically cut off because the fight is already decided, but at the same time deny me the victory because I couldn't get enough kills. I'm sort of expecting the game to screw me over with something like that. Our casualties have been non-existent, basically. So if we lose this bill after all that, I, what can you do? I don't know. At that point I basically would just raise my hands in the air and leave this campaign at that, because that's such bullshit. But let's not get hasty, nothing of the sort has actually happened here. Everything is looking good, we control everything, the enemy can't really be a reasonable threat to us, and so forth and so forth, so... Fairly fresh infantry squad still pulling in. I think I'm gonna go try to make a push forward now. I haven't seen a true fresh squad in a while. Someone that has a casualty or two, sure, but not something that has no casualties. Vast majority of units that have significant casualties. The game goes on. No more artillery. No, well, the aircraft firing there. Screw it. No, I don't want any sudden annoying complications on things. We're gonna try to push forward. Yeah, they can still cause me trouble. You cannot move. You're the... Yeah, the infantry here can't defend against shit, so if there's any kind of infantry swarm coming at us... Oh, Jesus fuck though. That's it's bad. Yeah, it's just... the thing is, even if they're pinned, they're actually in worse shape than they appear. But they can't do all that much. We might want to go back and forth maybe a little bit, so not stay in vulnerable positions if we don't have shots. Oh crap. Yeah, this is still pretty bad. It's pretty bad because I can't do more than this. Sort of look in their direction, fire a little bit, and that's it. This could be bad for them. Machine gun fire on a hex with a huge amount of squad. Survivors disperse. Survivors disperse. I can't move back away from here. So we're stuck here with an army coming our way. I'm not sure if we can survive that. we are clearly getting some results, but it's just not good enough. Survivors disperse. Yes. Yeah, I don't think this is the correct time to assault. It's a bit too soon. So there's quite a lot of squads I'm basically dispersing here. But there's also quite a few that are still ready to go, and I'm not sure if I can do anything about them really. You have 14 moves and you can't move there. Survivors dispersed. On the northern front, I think there's a reasonable chance for the pushing things forward. Try to get some kind of a better end result there. Something that we try to keep pushing forward and forward to finally start to get decent kills. Here, it's too soon. We could get lucky with the kills we cause here. Kill squad leaders and things like that. We are getting kills after all. Problem is they're fairly independent. So getting a couple of kills here and there isn't gonna achieve all that much. One squad less. Ooh, we could probably suppress some of these. That's a big thing. That could save lives. Survivor dispersed. Anything else? There are a couple of ready units, but not that many, and now they're sort of damaged too. So this might be the best place for us to be actually. We can fire on their vulnerable spots. We can fire where the smoke screen doesn't protect them. Yeah, it's a bit too soon. What can you shoot at? We could fire on these. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. It'll take the pressure off of the units defending the flag. I suppose same with here. They have a couple of ready units there, but gonna be a big problem if these guys fire on them. Hmm, that's a squad gone. I'm gonna just stay here, protect these units so they don't get overwhelmed. Can you move at all? No. Fuck. Another mortar gone. Mortar is gone. Need to move troops here to protect their assets. I should start moving troops here too. There's really nothing happening here. It's been happening for a while. We're gonna have to start moving infantry in too, but not yet. Okay. K0, go there, protect their assets. K2, go there, protect their assets. K3's in an okay spot. K4, go there, protect. Oh fuck. Too bad. Yeah. Now we have two tanks here surrounded by enemies that are able to shoot at them while they are unable to do a goddamn thing. Can you move there? No. Suppose we could move here, might be slightly better for us. Then we should try. We have a decent amount of infantry here, so I don't think they can get through. Especially because we have engineers, so they'll annihilate any infantry trying to get through the smoke. At least that's my wishful thinking here. They might have the numbers to overwhelm us. Oh shit. One squad down. Second infantry squad down. Yeah, they're still trying, but I'm certainly hoping that they're running out of steam here. A little bit of suppression fire. Right, those mortars have to be silenced. That was it? Okay, that was much worse than I expected them to be able to do. Much, much worse. I'm not going to move anything yet. I'll see what we can fire from our current position. Well, the crew has the job. They surrendered. Just do a casualty on it and it'll go away. There we go. Seeing a goddamn thing. Ah, this is good. We can suppress an entire group. Yeah, they're not really able to do all that much here anymore. And this artillery especially is not a terrible position for them. Wiping out squads every turn. Multiple squads usually. 3 so far at least. Okay, we certainly see something. It's a good target to shoot at actually. Would allow this tank to assault it, although I'm not sure if that's a good idea yet. Ooh. Survivors disperse. Okay, that's the smaller mortars gone. Well, at least I made the point where they're not gonna be all that useful. You sons of bitches have started to fire on my units. Right. This is... I think we have a reasonable opportunity to try to push forward here, but it is not without risks. At the same time, I'm seeing almost full of squads that are routed at this point. They are not doing well. Yeah, there's still a hint routed retreating and all that, so it's not gonna be exactly all that easy to just push through. I don't see how we could do things all that differently there. So, the problem here is we basically have to go to the worst possible spot in order to get anything done here. Someone's gonna have to take the chance. Not sure it really matters who it is. The armor is not gonna save us here, it's just pure luck. Ah, they couldn't fire back. They're boned. Survivors disperse. Yeah, they're not gonna do a goddamn thing anymore. Ooh, they assaulted. No, it's another squad. No, it's them. Survivors dispersed. Disperse. And that's more or less it. Pretty squad. I guess it's been sitting there for some time. Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to just push forward. Some squads should stay on the flags. Never know what's gonna pop up. Shoot what you can. There hasn't been any serious attack against these in ages. I think we'll be safe there. Okay, there's the hidden units. Oh crap, right. Can't get around the fact that you are still sort of waiting in pinned units, which are capable of at least offering some resistance. So this is not safe. Pretty much every time we do any kind of a move forward, there's to get a destroyed unit. If we do that, we are basically boned. At least we're pushing them forward, so that's something. Also, I can always just save here and there. Oh, look. He retreated. Disperse. Excellent. I think the key is just to push through the smoke so we can again start firing at them without having to constantly be assaulted. I'm leaving some infantry squads with the flags here, but I don't think I'll be leaving that vehicles. Vehicles will be hunting down the infantry as much as they can. Squad destroyed. Not bad. Another one. I'm not sure where we should go. There's so many pin squads there that if an infantry goes there, it's a dead infantry unit. I think we might be better off trying to sort of go around them. At least with a couple of units. That's enough of a suppression fire that we might be able to then push through with the units trapped inside the smoke. Right, there are no massive infantry waves here anymore. There's a couple of highly damaged infantry squads that could still cause me trouble, but that's about it. Still don't sure that it's a good idea to try to push there. Probably the largest concentration of enemy units still here. So while it makes sense to push forward with other units, here I think we're gonna just hold our position. We then will converge on it with the units that are making a push from the flanks. Right, there you still have respectable groups of infantry here. Ooh, fresh troops, holy shit. Well, a single squad of fresh troops. (1,065 to China's 43). We lost 51 men, 0 anything else. They lost about 800 men and 9 tanks, so this has to be a success. Uh, what mission was this? 6, maybe? No, 7. Veteran units! Veteran units! Veteran units! Veteran units! Yay! I'm really thinking we should switch the Greyhounds to something else. They're not that good as a scout. They can't kill shit. The light tanks basically do the same thing. Uh, Not sure I would want to necessarily replace them with the Persians, though. I haven't seen anything too amazing about these. I mean, these are fine tanks, but there's nothing particularly interesting about them either. Maybe go with a tank destroyer. It's slightly different. I have no idea how good this would be. It's fairly expensive, though. I mean, it's more expensive than the Sherman battle tank, and it has 2 weapons less. It has the same gun as the Persian, less ammunition for it, but it might have specialty ammunition, so this could very well be the best tank destroyer we could possibly get. And I really don't like the Greyhounds. Uh, Maybe not change everything to them. But I sort of want to see how they work. We have the points for it anyway, so I don't particularly care. Even if we would want to change them to Persians or something later on, we could still afford to do it. UN forces encountered the Chinese Third Field Army in the sector, all over northern Korea. There are reports of Chinese units engaging our forces, crossing over the Yalu in force. Our troops can cut off the Chinese army's main supply lines. Your unit is the spearhead for this drive, but we may not be able to give you full support due to poor weather. Secure the bridge and the road beyond the Yalu River. Note, you need river barges to cross the river. Of course we do. This is an assault mission? No, it's not an assault mission. We don't have the artillery sections. So it's probably a meeting engagement. Right. It's a fairly sizable map. Get the roads, so we probably are either we have to get things here in this small town and the bridge, or we have to go over here to get the hill and bridge. I would assume we'll probably start here. Not that it matters. There's the bridge, so we don't really need the bridge carriers, and they're very expensive and easily destroyed, so I don't want to take them. But we have to go across the bridge in that specific point then. Strike elements have been pretty pathetic, in my opinion. The bomb dropping planes at least disabled the tanks they attack, so that's something. Napalm, on the other hand, is like 3 times as expensive. So while it might work, it's way too expensive to really use. I need scout cars. I really do. Right. Platoon of tanks. Germans were fine. They're like 40 points cheaper than the Persians, also faster. Good enough to destroy the T-34s. This allows me to also carry all the infantry that I have with me. Reminds me, I'll buy a couple of engineering platoons. Well, at least one. 132 points, maybe on artillery. I like the bomb dropping crafts. They might actually destroy the target they're aiming at. So that would. We got 4 aircraft, can't buy more. Howitzers? Might not be a horrible idea, especially if we mix them with mortars. But this would be mostly for smoke, and it's not going to be all that effective. It never is. So I'm not sure if it's really what we want. Maybe another scout car platoon. These are fairly cheap to lose, and we might need them in a lot of places, because we might take casualties. Alternatively, some kind of close support. Yeah, priests are good, especially if we have to go through a lot of sections where there's infantry hiding, so we can basically shoot indirect fire there and just save the amount of scouts we have to use. 14 points for something? Or what we should buy? Maybe an engineering platoon. We could get 2 extra units. LVT platoons. It would be. We could cross the river with a little bit more force. I don't think so though. Yep, can we can buy mortars, I suppose. It's if for nothing else, we can fire smoke with them. What is it? Where do we start? Okay, so it's this side. It's a meeting engagement on the river, on the bridge. 16 turns. Could be the same shit we had in this mission. We'll have to at least assume that that's a very real possibility. What do you see from here? A decent amount of things. Visibility is 32, not great, not terrible either. We definitely need to get here this time. Don't. This is a natural bottleneck, but I'm not sure if we want to fight there because the bridge cannot possibly be damaged, otherwise we're owned. I think we want the Jacksons to get into position quickly. No idea really how good these are. Yeah, they have sabotage. I think they're more or less like a Persian, except they're slightly faster and smaller in size. So in a tank fight, that's a good thing. We have to stay as a fairly tight group because of the low visibility. We have use for recoilless rifles. Ooh, they might have aircraft. I haven't really thought about that. There's no reason why the Chinese couldn't have. They should have MiGs. Lots and lots of MiGs. And scouts. Shit. Yeah, this is not gonna look quite this bad once we have a chance to put the infantry in those vehicles. And definitely need Shermans at the front. They're most they're the few units that can actually carry our infantry. And engineers. And priests. Yeah, now that I look at this, having second thoughts about things, it's a perfect target for a lot of enemy artillery. Okay, I'm not sure if we can carry all of it. We should be able to carry most of this. Alright, 2 squads left outside. That's not acceptable. Also, we probably put the... No, didn't put the command squad anywhere. We can leave some of the infantry squads here to defend the rear. But I want the engineers to go with us. There's no telling what we'll encounter. Oh, crap. The light tanks have the mobility to reach our targets, so heavier tanks to the forefront. Ah, yeah. And we want to assign some kind of artillery bombardment for. In all likelihood, they are very close to the area here. We might want to fire smoke if nothing else. But we have a huge advantage in numbers, tank numbers very likely. So I think I'm gonna leave this here. There might be some kind of a logic in doing things a little differently, especially if they don't have a real kind of tank engagement here. then this is probably filled with all kinds of defenses. But it's a meeting engagement, so they shouldn't have pillboxes or mines. So I don't get what this could be other than a tank engagement. And if it is, uh, we don't want smoke there